Twitch.tv implements a system similar to YouTube's ContentID audio matching called Audible Magic, and streamers lose their minds. Let me know how you feel in the comments below, but first, my opinion. I'm Tarmack, and this is Feature Creep. Twitch has announced that there will be a number of immediate changes to how VOD content is going to be handled on the streaming service. For starters, they're adjusting how long straight-up VODs will be held, that being for 14 days for regular users and 60 days for Turbo subscribers prior to being deleted. Streamers can get around that to some degree by using the highlight system, which retains highlights indefinitely. They claim that this was due to storage reasons, but also because after 14 days, any VOD has already had 80% of the views that it's ever going to have, which leaves Twitch in the possession of petabytes of video content that nobody is watching. The bigger news, however, is the integration of Audible Magic into the Twitch system, which matches audio content against the Audible Music library and will mute VODs in 30-minute segments if they are found to be containing copyrighted material. As yet, this does not affect live streams themselves, only recorded video-on-demand content. The suspicion is that the 30-minute blocks being muted happens because of how Twitch archives VOD content in 30-minute FLV files. This does show a technical deficiency in the matching system, but that's neither here nor there. And the fallout of the system is already being felt. Streamers have had past VODs containing Spotify or other licensed music muted, which of course is the main intention of a system like this. However, like the ContentID sweep, there has also been a large amount of collateral damage. This damage includes such items as the main Twitch channel itself having tournament VODs muted, Dota 2 music owned by Valve on official Dota 2 videos muted, and other game developers who have expressed confusion as to how and why their audio content is even registered by Audible Magic. I love YouTube and I love Twitch, I really do, but it's about time for someone big to stop and ask the question whether this is really the way that we want to handle copyright. Both Twitch and YouTube are operating on a shoot first, don't ask questions later copyright system which outright punishes people based on an unverified database of content. Your only recourse is filing a counter DMCA notification, and even then you're still looking at 2 weeks to a month before the company is even required to deal with it. Instant punishment, but deferred resolution is not and has never been a way to show your users or customers that they are respected and valued. Obviously, streamers who were just turning on their Spotify, Pandora, Winamp, or iTunes playlist with popular licensed music really have nothing to complain about. However, the primary source of audio on Twitch, that being video game soundtrack material, is also under attack, and I have to wonder if Twitch really wants to work with its streamers to get the best solution. Where is the published list of what content is actually registered as part of this Audible Magic system? How do streamers, much like YouTubers, know who manages the rights? How to approach those companies to obtain the proper rights? If we have developers with as yet unreleased games whose music is already registered without their knowledge, what chance do streamers even have to adhere to this new and, dare I say, draconian system? Audible doesn't have such a public list, and frankly I think that they should. Maybe then these developers such as Valve and others can take proactive steps to ensure that their audio content doesn't get the same ham-fisted approach that Universal and other music publishers like to engage in. And I wonder if anybody has asked the question, is Twitch violating the law by enforcing takedowns of content that Audible Magic shouldn't have the rights to in the first place? Like Danny Baranowski, who's quoted on Twitter as saying, "Nobody but me has the authority to ask for a takedown of Crypta the Necrodancer music on Twitch." Apparently nobody told Audible, which makes you wonder how the content is even registered with Audible Magic in the first place. The other side that I wanted to comment on is relating to the future of live stream auto matching. I'm sure that this kind of system is coming, though it's not here yet. I wanted to mention that live streamers can actually get the legal rights to broadcast music from their home country's licensing organization, and usually for pretty cheap. In Canada, for example, with a minimum $100 a year fee and a small revenue share percentage, depending on whether you use 20% licensed music or 100%, you can obtain a proper license as an online audio broadcaster. I know this because I did the footwork with both Twitch and SoCan to figure out how I could use licensed music legally on stream. I worry, however, that even though there's an easy, inexpensive way to license this content, that we will see in future more auto-matching, but this time against live stream content itself. Here's hoping that I'm wrong. And then there's the big elephant in the room. Why would Twitch bring on board a brand new third-party audio matching system right before they were supposedly being bought by Google, who has their own ContentID system already developed in-house? Maybe the acquisition isn't going as planned. So let me know what issues you've seen raised about the new Twitch system. If you enjoy Feature Creep, hit up those subscribe and like buttons. Thanks for watching. That's all I have to say. Tarmack out.